You're listening to the Bear in Mind podcast, episode number 66.
A podcast uncovering identity, color, and love, where driving yourself crazy is totally sane and curable. Now your host, T. Vias.
What's your take on perfectionism? I ask you this because a while ago, I actually said this in job interviews, like, what's one of your strengths? You know, they say, name 3 of your strengths or 3 of your weaknesses or something like that. And one of them would be I'm a perfectionist. And what I wanted to communicate is that I do good work. I do excellent work. And although I probably do good, I had done pretty good work in my job, I do notice that I don't produce a lot of work, or I don't achieve a lot of the results and get kind of things done. I get some things done, but not all the things that I kind of want to do. And I had kind of that perfectionism that a lot of people know about. Like, they want their work to be so excellent, and then they never actually get the thing done by the deadline. You know, if they have to write an article, they want to make sure every grammar mistake is corrected and things like that. And so they kind of push the deadline in a lot of ways like that. And, you know, that can be kind of debilitating if you want to get work done and you're always worried making sure that it's 100%, you know, 10 out of 10 kind of quality work, as opposed to it can be an 8 out of 10, or in the US, you know, kind of like this B level work is okay to put out there. And there's been a lot of talk about that, you know, just get kind of things done, get the momentum going. Nothing has to be a 10 out of 10 for it to be done, to even be good enough. And so I've worked on that, but then I recently realized that I still have a little bit of hidden perfectionism, which is not surprising because I think it takes a while to kind of get over your tendencies if you veer towards perfectionism. And I found it lurking in my everyday life. And so it's really hidden when it's kind of daily, and then it's a little difficult to see that you're still kind of carrying on some perfectionistic tendencies. And one of the things that I realized is when I wake up, I don't usually feel good. I'm not a morning person, but I don't usually have I'm not the person that says good morning. and so, I mean, I accept that about myself. I'm not really a morning person. I do need to get up early, and I enjoy getting up early, but my mind is kind of not there. And so then when my morning kind of gets going and I'm doing things and handling appointments and things like that, and if something kind of unexpected happens, or something gets delayed, or, you know, something doesn't just go your way, you know what I mean? And it kind of puts like this damper on the day, and it's not even noon. I haven't even had lunch yet, and it's already kind of like, oh, my mind will go to, this is a bad day. And like I said, it's not even lunchtime yet, and I'm already thinking it's a bad day. And I still have about 9-10 hours left in my day. And I've decided, based on, at this point, probably 4 hours of awake time, 4 to 5 hours of awake time, because something didn't go quite how I wanted it to go. Like someone didn't do something, or someone didn't get back to me, or something like that, or somebody canceled an appointment, and all of these kind of things, that I kind of am like, oh, well, the rest of the day is going to suck. And then what that ends up happening is that I don't do sometimes the other things that I had planned in the day. One of them is usually exercise. And so I started noticing this pattern more, because I was keeping track in my agenda a lot more. I mean, I really plan out a week ahead, and I put everything in my agenda for the week, so I know exactly what I'm going to be doing each hour. And I do need to move things around sometimes, because, yeah, life happens. People cancel things, and yeah, that's what actually happens, and nothing actually goes according to sometimes what I had planned, but I always have like a little bit of room to adjust things and things like that. And what I noticed is that the rest of the day, when I would look, and I would have to, at the end of the week, kind of compensate for the things that I didn't get done and that I now need to reschedule a lot of things that I actually, when I looked at the days, I actually had the time. Nothing else kind of quote unquote went, not according to my plan or unexpected, but something in the morning went unexpected. So one thing that I had to move or reschedule, but the afternoon was still fine. And so I actually did end up having a quote unquote a bad day because my morning was off. And then I created also the afternoon, evening time to be off. And then I'd have to kind of reschedule everything because I decided, okay, I'm not going to exercise. I'm feeling like it's a bad day. Things didn't go my way. And this kind of thinking comes from a lot of pre-programming that we had, kind of the stuff that maybe society has told you, or usually that's your parents. And we think that sometimes things need to go a certain way, or it has to go our way or something like that. And if it doesn't, that means something has gone wrong. When nothing has gone wrong, that means life has just happened. Someone cancels an appointment, things like that. Even making the morning mean because something didn't go my way according to my agenda or something like that, even thinking that is actually, I can say it's a bad morning or something. That doesn't actually help me get going for the rest of my day. And so even deciding that because let's say somebody does cancel something and you have to rearrange something, that doesn't necessarily mean something's bad. And this is where I think there's that kind of hidden perfectionism that goes kind of on daily and daily, where we think that because something that we didn't want to happen or that happens unexpectedly, then that means that it's bad or it's gone wrong and that it was supposed to go perfectly, when in fact life doesn't actually go perfectly. I mean, we have all this evidence, nothing goes perfectly, otherwise everyone would be, kind of in this hedonistic kind of world, but things happen. And so if you kind of think you have a little bit of this hidden daily perfectionism, I kind of think going back in your agenda, just looking at one day, look at it at the end of your day and look and see if you got the stuff that you had planned on doing. See if you got it done, even if when something does come up, how you handled it and what did you make it mean and things like that. And that'll kind of tell you a little bit if you have hidden perfectionism. And what do you do? What's the action that you take when you think something unexpected happened, something didn't go your way as planned? What is it that you do with that? Do you automatically just say, okay, this happened and I'll reschedule? Or do you then carry on that, the rest of my day is going to, or what else is going to happen? Or if two things happen, does that mean another thing's going to happen? And if it's three things, it's definitely a bad day. And how many times do you kind of add that up to having a bad week or something? If, something happens on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, you're like, and then you give up on the whole week. You're at Wednesday and you still have 2 more days in the week. How much do you just give up on those 2 days and then don't get the things that you want to get done? And so I highly recommend looking back at your agenda on one day at the end of the day and seeing how you handled it and be honest with yourself. And I guarantee if you can kind of find, I think this was like the big perfectionism thing for me that I needed to kind of break, this hidden lurking inside your daily life kind of perfectionism. If you can find that, I think that'll kind of, I think it's kind of really alleviates kind of a really big kind of belief about looking at your life and kind of this perfectionist viewpoint. And so I'm going to wrap it up here, and I'll check back with you next week.
Thanks for listening. Listen for a new episode next Tuesday by subscribing on your favorite podcast platform. Bye for now.